Hey guys, it's Jessica and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I am so happy you're here. On this channel, I am a speech pathologist. I can't remember if I said that. We spend a lot of time just talking about all kinds of speech therapy topics. Sometimes I show like what I'm working on with my students. Sometimes I share therapy ideas. Sometimes I just like to kind of chat about things that are important to me. And that's what we're doing today. So today is video number 3 in a series I am working on that's about neurodiversity and neurodivergence. So I've done 2 videos. If you want to go back and watch those, please do. And this video today is on masking. Specifically, what is masking and why it is bad. And then my next video, the 4th one in this series, will be some strategies on how to help your students reduce masking and increase self-advocacy. So let's go without further ado. Jose loved to shake his doll. He shook it. He liked to watch the hair move up and down. He liked the way it felt in his arm, to move his hand up and down. And he would like to watch it out of the corner of his eye and shift around. And it made his body feel really good to shake his doll. And sometimes he would like to jump while he shook his doll, or he'd walk on his toes while he shook his doll. And if he didn't shake his doll, his arm would start to hurt, or his body would start to hurt. Shaking the doll helped his body to feel good. And so Jose would spend most of his days shaking his doll, walking around his house, because that's what his body needed to feel comfortable. Well, that was fine when Jose was 3. But then Jose went to kindergarten, and Jose didn't want to take his doll with him, because even though it felt really good and his body really needed that sensory input, he was worried about what other kids would think. Would they make fun of a boy playing with a doll? Would they make fun of somebody just walking around the classroom shaking a toy instead of playing like the other kids? So Jose left the doll in the car when his mom dropped him off, and picked it up again as soon as he got back in the car after school, and would shake to give his body the sensations that it needed. So Jose was masking. He was masking because he was hiding his needs, hiding what his body needed to look more normal, I'm going to put that in quotes, to the other students in his class. So that's kind of an example of masking. It's something that really all of us do from time to time, but neurodivergent people do it more frequently as a way to try and fit in, to try and look less divergent. I don't know if I want that quotes. Yeah, divergent. It's a way of trying to fit in. Now, why is this bad? Because masking is really not a good thing. Because at first, when I first heard about masking, my first thought was, why is this bad? It's going to help them fit in. Maybe they'll be able to make friends. They won't look as different. So this is the goal, right? To help these kids fit in. And what I have learned on my journey educating myself about this topic is that masking is bad for a few different reasons. First of all, it takes a massive amount of brain power. So go back to our story about Jose. Jose now can't concentrate at school as efficiently because his body hurts when he cannot shake his doll. His body is uncomfortable, and so now he might be looking for sensory input in other ways that are more disruptive to the class, or he can't focus on the material because all he can focus on is how uncomfortable his body is. So he is spending a lot of extra brain power on trying to be quote unquote good, and I'm definitely saying that in quotes, because he wants to do the right thing. He wants to please people. He wants to make his teacher and his mom happy. So he's trying really, really hard to control his body and make it do what he wants to do. But he can't hold out that long. He gets tired and he will start to burn out if he has to hold on to that uncomfortable feeling in his body for too long. So this can lead to exhaustion, not just for the students, especially for the students, and that is where our main focus needs to be, is on the well-being of our students. But what I have so often seen and heard is that these students try so hard to keep it together all day at school. They're trying so hard to do what they're supposed to do, and it is so exhausting, and they come home and they are exhausted. And this could be, displayed as anger or frustration. We now have homework we have to do on top of it, and my brain is tired and my body is tired, and I just want to do whatever I need to do to make my body feel normal and like I'm in control of it again. So it's really hard for students to keep it together all day at school every day. And then they come home and it makes for some really challenging evenings to have to work on homework, to have to work on chores. It is really hard for caregivers as well, because they may not be sure what to do. There may be nothing they can do, and that feeling of helplessness is so hard. So that is a couple of reasons why it's bad. But it also adversely affects mental health. So these students are kind of internalizing this feeling of they're not good enough, or they're different, or they're weird, or they don't fit in because nobody else is shaking a doll in class. And this puts these individuals who are already at risk for mental health challenges. It can exacerbate it and make it even worse, particularly as they get older, moving into things like anxiety and depression, and even more further down the road, perhaps these people are at an increased risk side, and all of these really horrible things that we don't want for anybody. So this idea of masking is, these students are trying to kind of mask who they naturally are, who they were born to be. And we want to make our classrooms and our speech rooms and our houses, our homes, a place where our students and our children can just be themselves, whoever they were meant to be. And if they were meant to be a child who wants to shake a toy or walk on their toes or flap or jump or swing, we want to provide safe places for that so that we can reduce the amount of masking. Unfortunately, as it stands right now in our current society, there is no way, I think, to alleviate all of the masking or all of a child's needs to feel like they need to mask. I am hopeful that as this neurodiversity movement progresses and more education and awareness comes out about these differences, that our children and our students will feel safe being themselves and doing what they need to do to take care of themselves, and we can learn how to accommodate them by finding out what they need and then giving them a safe place to do that. So, like I said, this is part of a series. Today's topic was on masking and why it is bad. This is part of my neurodiversity series that I am working on. So if you want to watch the other videos, I would love for you to follow along. My next video is going to be on some strategies that we can use as parents and educators to help children learn to advocate for themselves and learn to reduce masking. So I will see you in my next video.